In the previous sessions, we talked about the data-driven testing. How do you get the data from JSON file for a single data, as well as how do you get the data for multiple data. So we had seen for the data-driven as well, where we have multiple datas, and that will be in the form of, again, JSON. And we have also seen for the single data. So if we talk about multiple data that we have seen over here, so using like for loop, we can again iterate through all the data, whatever we have inside the JSON file for the data driven, and that we can use it over here. We have also discussed, like, whenever we go for data driven, we have to dynamically change the title as well, because whenever there will be a duplicate title or duplicate title of the test cases inside the test function, Playwright will complain saying that there is a duplicate title for the test cases. Okay, so that's where we have made it a dynamic, using whenever we have to declare inside any of the whenever you have to declare or pass in dynamic value inside a string value, then we have to use a backtick, and backtick will be just above the tab keyword on your keyboard, and from there we can use like dollar symbol, and inside curly braces, whatever the data that we have to use, we can use it over here. Okay, so that we have discussed in the previous sessions. Let's discuss a couple of things more, which is how do we generate the Allure report. Currently, if we see, there are only the thing that we are generating is the index.html. That means a HTML report. So if we try to open this, we will see that it is just opening a HTML report, right? Now we'll also see, like, how do we generate the Allure report in Playwright or using Playwright inside the Playwright framework, and then we'll see a couple of other topics for today. So let's start with Allure report. So there are a couple of things happen in terms of Playwright is Playwright will basically not be able to support directly the Allure report. It has some other operations that is by default it supports, which is line, reporting in Playwright. So by default, Playwright says that it will be able to support line chart, or basically line reported. Whenever we say, like, it will be able to support the support the report in terms of line. When we say like line, it will just declare how many passed, how many failed, and so on. So, like, let's say like this kind of things, you see, which will just generate like how many test cases have been passed, how many test cases have been failed, skipped, and so on. Then it will also be able to support dot reporter. We're not interested in all these things. HTML reporter is the one that it generates in a better format. That is the default one which generates in a better format. So that we have already seen, and it is a by default things for Playwright to support. Now there are other things which is like blob reporter, JSON, JUnit. We're not interested in that. Basically, we'll not be using them in the real time as well. It also says that it supports few of the third-party reporter. That means to generate report, it supports few of the third-party things. One of them is Allure report, right? So if you click on this Allure, it says that what we have to do in general to work with Allure report, right? In general, Playwright will automatically not be able to support Allure report. So to work with Allure report, we have to install first the Allure report. to work with Playwright, and then we will be able to integrate it. Okay, so this documentation has given a complete description. You can just search it out, like Allure reporting, and then on this particular documentation, it has given a complete details of how can we work with Allure report. Okay, so let's see what it says. It says that we have to first install a package manager using the package manager, which is like node packaging manager, which we have already seen earlier, which is npm, to install the Allure Playwright package. So it says that we have to use npm i-d Allure Playwright. As soon as we do this, it will be able to install the complete dependency of the Allure, and then we can use inside the Allure reporting. How do we use it? We have to go to the configuration file, and wherever we have reporter. So if you go to the configuration file, we have something known as reporter, which used to generate the report. So we can write it over here saying that Allure Playwright. Now there might be a question that, let's say if we have to generate HTML as well as Allure, how do we do that? Now in that case, we have to wrap up everything inside a array as an array format. So if you see here, it says that reporter, line, and Allure report. One more thing is there, right? Whenever we have to use Allure report, we first have to generate the line report. Line report will generate us saying that how many passed, how many have been failed, how many have been skipped and broken. Based on that report, the Allure report will be able to generate it. So first it will generate a line report, and based on the line report, the Allure reporting will also be generated. Okay. Now, how do we generate the Allure report is, there are few of the commands that it has given, which is Allure generate, wherever we have stored the Allure report, -o, and then Allure reporting. This is the command to generate the Allure report, and this is the command to open the Allure report. Okay, every documentation have been given. We do not have to, we do not basically have to remember all these things, like how do we do that, because these are one-time setup where we'll be setting up for the one time for each and every framework that we develop. Okay. So let's see how do we do that. So as it says, we have to first install the Allure Playwright reporting part. So to install that, we have a command known as npm i-d playwright Allure. I've also given in this particular document, which I'll again share after our session. I have already shared, but I have done some kind of modification where we can say that we have to, how do we work with the Allure report? This is one way where we can directly install npm i-d Allure Playwright. And this is second way where we can also install using the Allure command line, as well as using the directly, instead of using this one, we have to either we can install Allure Playwright using this particular command, or we can also use npm install -- save date using the Allure Playwright. Okay, so let's see one by one how do we do that. Okay, so it says that we'll be using npm i-d and then Allure Playwright by going to the terminal. Go to the terminal and just set it up with npm i-d, and then as soon as we enter, it will be able to install the Allure Playwright. So it says that added 7 packages and audited 13 something. But how do I know whether it has been really installed or not? For that, we can go to the package.json. And here you will see like an Allure dependency have been added over here. Okay. So whatever the recent version will be, it will try to generate the, try to install that particular Allure Playwright And based on that, we will be able to work with the Allure. So how do we work with the Allure is first, first step is to install the Allure Playwright, right? That we have done using the command that we have just seen, which is npa-i-d and allure-playwright. So it has successfully installed the Allure reporting. Now, second step is to go to the configuration file, which is like playwright.config.js, and use whatever you have to use, whatever the reporting that you have to use, we can use inside reporter. So how do we do that? In terms of whenever we have to use a single reporting, we can just use like, let's say HTML inside a single quote or double quote, and then we can make it with end it with comma. Now, whenever we have to use multiple reporting, at that point of time, every reporting first is like uh, it will be available as an array, and inside this array, whatever the reporting that we have to use, every reporting will go again inside an array. So every reporting will go inside a single array, and on top of that, there will be an array available. That means it is an array of array which reporter will be accepting. So it says that it accepts few of the reporting, and whenever we have to declare a single one, we can directly use a single one. If we have to declare a multiple one, then we have to give it inside a curly give it inside an array. It also says that it also accept a custom file, which, let's say if we have to generate the extend report, then we can write an extend report file as we write in other programming language or tools, and that programming file we can call it out, or that reporting file we can call it out with output file, and then whatever the reporting that we have to generate. Okay, so here in terms of Playwright, in the organization, mainly they'll follow the Allure reporting and HTML reporting. 99% of the organization will follow the Allure reporting, which is like famous in the market, and we'll see like in a couple of minutes how it is displaying, how it is looking in terms of look and feel and so on. So whenever we talk about displaying or generating multiple report, it will go inside array, and inside that every reporting will be written inside again an array. So reporter will accept array of array. Now we can say that Allure reporting. Here we can say it out like how it has given. So we can directly copy paste from here as well. But this will be an Allure Playwright. Okay. So now we said here that generate a report first with HTML. And to generate Allure report, we also require line report to be generated so that it will display first like test passed, test failed, number of test cases skipped and broken. And based on that, the Allure report will generate the reporting. So that's where we have declared a three reporting, which is HTML, line, and Allure Playwright. Okay, now let's try to, let's see, let's try to run any kind of file, any file that we have. So for example, we have dashboard based test. So let's try to run a dashboard based test and see how it is generating the report. So if we see like this is the dashboard based test where we have a couple of test cases. There are two test cases available inside this, and we'll see like how it is generating the report. We have to generate the report again by using the command, by using some command. Okay, so it is running the second test case, and second test case also have been passed. Now, if we talk about how do we generate the report, I've also given in our documentation where we can directly use one of a command to use. So, see, for example, so now we have used like now we have automatically used over here, uh, which is like to generate the Allure report as well as the HTML report. So HTML report, anyways, it is generating inside a Playwright report where you can see like index.html will be by default name. You can also change if you want to change the name. But index.html will be generated as default. And this is anyways like we always used to see that. Now inside our framework, if you see, it has also generated. So whenever we use Allure report, it will have a by default folder known as Allure-result. So this have been generated over here. Okay. So this is the Allure report it has generated. Now, how do we open this Allure report is we can use a command which is known as npx allure serve. This is the command which is npx, which we always use for running the test cases. Allure serve is a command to generate and open the report. And then there is whatever we have given, which is like Allure-results, is the folder name from where it has to generate the report. Okay. So if you just press like npx allure serve allure-result, it will generate the reporting for Allure. So what it says, first we have to generate the report we have installed in it other way. So to first generate the report, it says that generate Allure report by using this command, which is Allure generate folder name, change there. Allure generate. This is the folder name. Then -o, which is like it says that we are overriding if there are any kind of history. And then again, we can use the same folder, which is results. So if you use report, then it will again create one more reporting. So for the first time, we have to first generate the report. Okay, so for the first time, we again have to use this particular command, which is known as allure generate dot slash by using the folder of the allure where it has generated. -o is like to override the report, whatever if there are any previous report that will be overwritten, and then the allure results, like again the same folder name that I have given over here. If we try to do, then it says it is your results is the name. Is allure generate. There is a better documentation for the reporting. Just give me a minute. So we have something known as allure reporting. So we can follow this particular document. It's a better one. Okay, so it says that we have to install with this one first command line, then this. We have to again do the same thing. So instead of all these doing things, we have already done using this one, which is npm-d. After that, it says that we have to generate the report by. So as soon as we generate the report, we have given inside this, then run the report is run the result is this, and then we can directly use the reporting over here. Check whether it is able to generate on this. We'll have to first generate the report. So to generate the report, we have to use this. Generate report is this one. Okay, let's try to do it in this way. So first, it also says that in the recent version of the Allure reporting, it says that we have to generate a command line tool as well. And to use Allure report, the Java in your system has to be a mandatory one. So let's try to install this, which is npm install -save -dev. Install the command line and then install in the Allure command line. We have already installed both are the same. Okay, so this is Allure command line, and then we have Allure Playwright. And now we can run again once again the test case to run the to display to run the test cases. I've given every detail in the documentation. You can just follow whatever we have given in the documentation. Will work. Okay, and now to run the report, we have a command which is known as npx allure serve allure result. So now it is successfully generating the report and it will open the report. See, this is the report it has generated, right? Let me first explain. So to work with Allure, we have to first generate the Allure command line. We have to install an Allure command line first, and then also we have to generate or install Allure Playwright. Whenever we use -save -dev, that means it is globally available inside our system. So it is basically installing and saving globally inside our application, inside our local system. And that is why it started working. Earlier it was saying that there is an issue that was because of the Allure command line was not available. Okay. So now if you see the reporting, we can see how better it has generated. So we have run the two test cases. So it is saying how many passed, how many failed. What is the suite that we have? Like every file we know that will be considered as a suite file in Playwright. Suite file in Playwright. Now we'll also be able to see the trending, like how many times the test case have been passed, test case have been failed. If you run for 4 or 5 times, we will be able to see like it will generate how many test case have been passed, failed, which are the test case which is like keep on failing and so on. Now, if you click on show all, it will take us to the one of our other tab, which is known as suite tab, where we can say like how many test cases have been successfully completed. Before that, we can also go to the categories. If you have given any tags and all those tags will be displayed over here. Okay. So did we discuss regarding tabs, tags? Okay, we'll discuss the tag very soon, and then we'll see how it is generating the report. You go to suite, it will say that how many test cases have been passed, which all class have been completed, running the test case, which case have been passed, and it will also generate each and every line of the test script that we have written over here. So it will generate what happened in the before hook. We can see that it is trying to uh, it is trying to instantiate the browser, initiate the browser context, creating a page inside a browser. So we can see even though we have just given the page, it is trying to create a page over here. Then there are some of the locators that it has written. And then after that also, we can see it is automatically able to take the screenshot, which is displaying over here. It is also taking the audio, videos, and recording, and then it is also trying to automatically attach in the report. So all these details we'll be able to see in the Allure reporting. We'll be also able to see like graph, different types of graph it has given for past, failed, and so on. So test cases. Then what is the like severity that it has run, whether that is blocker, critical, and so on. How many seconds it is trying to run the test cases. How many seconds basically it is taking to run the test cases. We'll also be able to see the duration trend. That means what is meant by duration trend is like first time it took around 2 seconds or 3 seconds. Then after that, like whenever we run, how many seconds it is taking, and so on. So it will display a graph over here with different trends, like how many times of retries that we have used, how many times we have used the how many seconds it has taken to complete the different test cases. All those details will be displayed over here inside the graphs. Inside the timeline also, it will display like first, like whatever the number of test cases that we run, how many seconds it has taken to complete the single, like individual test cases, and the overall complete test cases. Okay. Inside this also we'll be able to see the behaviors. Inside the behavior, the particular test cases will be displayed over here. And in the package, the classes that it has run will be displayed over here. So this is the complete details of the Allure report, where it will generate in a better format, better way. The complete details will be generated over here, as well as we can see like we did not write any Allure reporting file. We have just installed the Allure report, and we have configured inside the playwright.config by just providing the Allure reporting over here. That is it, we have done. And by just utilizing this inside the configuration, it is able to generate the complete Allure report. But if you have already worked on Selenium and other things, then you will see like we basically have to use a listener to create the Allure reporting. So this is the Allure reporting part. Then by default, like we have to manually generate like how many test cases have been passed, failed, and so on. And then we have to again attach the screenshot by taking the screenshots over here. Okay, whenever we have to create whenever we have to generate an Allure report, we also have to attach the screenshot for the past, failed, and so on. And this inside the Playwright, it is automatically able to generate the beautiful report in terms of alluring. Okay, so this is again one-time setup. So it is nothing to like we have to remember everything. But you can just practice it out. How do we generate the Allure report? Any questions for now?
No,
In terms of
No, Praveen.
okay, so this is all about the Allure reporting. Now let's move to few other details, uh, which is like how do we use the tags? When I say tags, see sometimes what happens is like we'll categorize few of the test cases, whether that will be a part of smoke group or regression group or API testing group. Let's say, for example, I'm talking about. So in general, in Selenium, what do we do is we use a group and categorize the test cases. So we select group equals to smoke, then again smoke and so on. But how do we generally write, how do we generally categorize the test cases uh, to be a part of smoke or regression or API? Let's say example API. Then how do we categorize those values? So let's say we have written four classes over here, which is where part one, part two, part three, and part four, which is basically displaying the API testing, right? So two things happen is whenever we have to just say that this test case example, this is one of our test case for API testing where we are trying to use a token inside a local storage. Now, if you have to just say that this test case should be a part of the API, that means the API group, then how do we tag this particular test case? There are two ways. The first way is we can directly use @ API over here, and this will be considered as a part of the API. Like API, the test case will come under an API part, like API tag. This is one way. So if you now try to run the test cases, there is a slight difference. Like how do we run the test case over here? One is, let's say if we just have to run the API test cases, the API tag test cases. One way is to we can directly write inside the title using @API. Wherever we write the test case title, we can write it as @API. It is not mandatory that you have to write in the initial stage. So you can also place inside the uh, title of the test cases. Okay, this is one way. And shortly we'll see for the second way as well. So let's say, how do we run this particular test cases? Let's say we have 1,000 number of test case, 300 is a part of smoke testing, 100 is a part of API testing, and all 1,000 part of regression testing. So how do we only run the API testing over here in terms of this? We'll just see it out. So in general, how do we run the test cases? NPX playwright test. Now, whenever we try to run NPX playwright test, it will run the complete framework. Whatever the test cases is available inside the test folder, it will try to run all the test cases one by one. That we know completely. Whenever we use NPX playwright test, it will run the complete test cases that is available inside the frame. Now our goal is to just filter out the test case having a tag known as API, right? So there is one command which is known as -grep. Whenever we use -grep, it is why are we using -grep? It is a tag or it is a command that we use to run the test case, and from all the test case, because we are saying like npx playwright test, we know that it will try to run all the test cases. Using --grep, it says that we will be filter out only those test case that we have to use and that we have to run. So what we can say is, let's say example this we have to define inside a as a string. That means inside a single quote or double quote. Now it says that npx playwright test will try to run the complete test cases inside the framework. Now we just have to filter out @API. So we'll be using --grep and the tag that we have to use. So it is saying that instead of running all the test case, only filter out those test case which is having a tag known as API. Okay. So this particular tag will only run the test cases which is tagged with @API. If you see this, if you just try to run, it says that it is like trying to search out all the test cases available inside the framework. And then it says that, then if you see here, it says that running one test using one worker. So why one worker is, we have given fully parallel as a false. If you give a true, then by default, it will start running for the 8 instances at one point of time. And we define that I'll discuss in the later sections. Let's concentrate on our first. So it says that one test have been passed. That means we know that there are only one test cases that we have tagged with the API. Okay, this is one way where we can tag with. This is again not a good way to tag a test case. But I mean, just writing the test case, it is again not a good way to writing the test case. So then what is the better way? The better way is in the starting, we discussed that whenever we have to create a test case, we use a test function. And then that test function will have to mandatorily take the two parameters. One is title, another is body. Body will be the function where we'll be writing the test script. Now, earlier we discussed that there is an optional details, right? So inside these details, we can also write the tag. So how do we write the tags? We'll see just in a minute. So whenever we have to declare a tag, we have to use in this way, which is test, write the test title, then give some kind of details. We can also give some kind of information, and then the body will be again similar. So title and body will not be changing. Only the details that we have to provide is few basic details, which is in terms of, let's say if you have to use tags. So it says that you can use tags. You can tag test by providing additional test details. Alternatively, you can include tags in the title by marking it as @ symbol. So now here we can say that it is trying to tag a test case with smoke. So how it has given is started writing a test case using test function. This is the test title. And the second parameter will also go inside the curly braces, which it has tagged with a keyword known as @smoke. And then this is a body of the function. Okay. We can also, it says that we can also directly write @smoke as we have seen, as we had like earlier seen over here. Start this one, right? So here we have written API. It's saying that instead of writing the tag, we can also write in this way. There is no harm, but it's always better like we can use inside a curly braces. Okay. It says that if you want to store some of the other details, we can also store by using annotation tag. You can just use annotation tag and then everything go inside the curly braces saying that there is an issue for this particular test case. And those information we can provide in the steps itself. Okay. So this is the details that it says, like inside the details at the time of declaring the test case, we can define it inside the details. So how do we do that? Let's say instead of, this is also one way where we can write the test cases. But whenever we write as a second parameter, we always have to write as a second parameter if we want to describe some kind of things for the test case. So here we are saying that we are just trying to tag a test case, let's say using AP. Okay. So whenever you see, like whenever like new team member will see, they might not be able to identify this @API, whatever we have written inside the title. But now if you see here, that means anyone will be able to understand that, okay, we have marked this particular test case with a tag as API. Okay. And then again, we have to use a comma to separate the other parameter. Okay. So this is other way where we can tag the test cases. This is a better way where it gives a clear understanding of that this test case is a part of a tag known as API. Now, if you try to run the same things, now if you try to run again the test cases, it will run in the same way as it was running for the previous tag. There will not be any change in the command as well. It will give the same command and it is saying running one test case. And at the end, it will If it is successful, it will give like one test case have been passed, only one test case, right? Because we have given the tags to only one test cases. Let's mark this tag to the other API test cases as well. So here we'll say it as, let's say, for this also we are tagging API tag. We have another test case, which is this one. So for this as well, we are just trying to tag. And this is a dummy one. And let's tag this test cases as well with the API tag. That means we have tagged 4 test cases. We have tagged 4 test cases with API as a tag. Now, if we try to run this particular command, which says that mpx playwright test --grep to filter out like from all the test cases, filter out the test cases which only having a tag known as API. So how do we now if you try to run this, it will run 4 test cases. We can see like running 4 test cases using 4 workers. Is just because we have defined inside the configuration as fully parallel. Okay, now it is running 4 test cases. Let it run. We are not interested in whether it is failing or pass. So now we have seen like how do we utilize the tag. We in the same way we can also define it for the other test cases, whatever the tags that you have to define it. So let's say if it is a part of smoke, then we can define a smoke. And then again, if we have to define the similar tags, similar test cases with 2 different tags, then it will go inside an array by marking it as @ for whatever the tag that we use. Okay. Let's say I have marked 1 test cases as a part of both smoke and regression. Now, if you have to run, let's say if you have to just say like smoke, then we can define it over here, which is smoke. Okay, now if you try to run this, this will check like how many test cases are available as a part of smoke testing. Those test cases it will try to run. So it is saying that 2 test cases using 2 workers. Not sure if you marked any other test cases as a smoke as well. So we can get the report and check what all the test cases that it is trying with the. Somewhere it is. Somewhere it is trying to run the other test cases. Okay, I think I have closed one. Let me try to run the Allure report once. It is generating the report now. We'll check like which one is the smoke test cases that it is trying to run. It says that first test. Inside the first test. Okay, we have also tagged here as a smoke. So see, inside the first test case, inside one of a file which is known as firsttest.spec.js, I somehow tagged this particular test case with the smoke sometimes ago. Like sometimes ago in the previous sessions. And that is why we see like whatever the test case that we have marked it as @ smoke tag, it is now running only those test cases for the smoke. Now, if you try to run the regression, as we have marked like only one test case for the regression, we'll see that one test case will run as a part of regression, like regression tag. So if you just try to say regression, we know that there are only one test case that we have tagged with. So whenever we tag inside a inside an array like this and provide it by separating a comma, that means it says that either this or this. So all these things will be considered as an or part. So either smoke tag or regression tag. Okay. Now let's say we know that there are different tags available inside the framework. Now, if you have to run either smoke or test cases, as we have defined it over here, currently we are just trying to run only single tag, which is like either regression or smoke. So if you have to run like both of the so let's say if you have to just run one single from the smoke or regression. So whenever we have to do, we can tag the we can write the tag in this way by just separating with a pipe symbol. Okay, so whenever we say that npx playwright test hyphen grep at smoke or regression, it will basically try to check the test cases which is having either smoke test or regression test. Sorry, smoke tag or regression tag. Basically have to separate it with a pipe. Regression. We have to find regression. And this way itself. It says that okay, let me find out what is the issue over here. npx playwright test hyphen grep. Also, we can say that this is in the small integration. It's the same part. Okay, let me try to filter. This is one way where it is not able to recognize right now. Not sure why. This is one way. Other way we can use is also we can give again same tag, which is grep, and then say it as application. So whenever we say this, it will, this is one way, like there are two ways basically. One way is we can directly define two tabs, like whatever the tags that we have to run, we can define it over here, npx playwright test hyphen grep, give the first tag that you want to run, and then give the second tag that you want to run. So it says that either this. So this is basically saying that smoke and regression. Okay, so that means it is saying that we have to run the two test cases. No, we have to run the test cases which is having both mentioned tag as what is this, smoke and regression. So whenever we use in this way, it says that run only those test cases which is having smoke and regression uh, as a tag given on the test cases. Okay. Now, whenever we have to run in our way, considering like either smoke or regression, here we are saying that smoke and regression. If a test cases is having both of the tags available, then it will run in a smoke and regression. So if we example, if we just give like smoke and regression again on some other tag, then we'll see like it will only try to run those test cases which is having both of the tags available. Okay. Now, if you try to run the same tags that we have given earlier, it will try to run the two test cases. Okay. Now we can see like it is trying to run the two test cases. But if you see here, in terms of first test.spec, we also have smoke tag, but that is not running because this particular tag is being considered as and like this smoke and regression. Now, if we try to see here in terms of or how do we use that, then we have to basically tag directly either smoke or regression in this way. This is the exact tag that we have to use. Let me see why it is not working. Regression we have also given over here. Okay, anyways, I'll try to find it out. This was working earlier. We'll see like why it is not working. So for multiple tags, for like say whenever we have to do utilize a multiple tags, either with a smoke or regression, I'll find it out why it is not working. It was working earlier in few other projects. I'll check it out why it is not working, and then that thing we'll discuss in the next session for how do we run the or. But in general, if we try to run and, we can also see that it is working in this way. Whenever we have to check like a test cases which is marked with smoke and regression, at that point of time, we can directly use 2x grep to filter out the test cases. Okay. In terms of or, this is only the way where we write, but anyways, I'll try to find it out. We can also give this. Okay, anyways, I'll try to find it out. Okay, so this is how we tag the test cases. Apart from that, whatever you people have practiced it out, you can just try to utilize the tags on the different test cases. Okay, so for now, that is it for today. And in the next session, we'll try to discuss few more important things